Welcome back to a Lunch Unlearn session with me, Katie Karwan. And today's topic is a topic that I have on the agenda very often with some of my clients and also friends. And it's a very simple concept, but it helps actually to understand a little bit what happens if we're not challenging ourselves to improve and to adapt and to fulfill more of our potential in the professional workspace. Let me kick this off by just reminding you about some of the logistics here. If you listen to this afterwards, make sure to put your audio on, and any questions you might have, please fill them in. I will respond to you either on LinkedIn, on Facebook, or on YouTube. So you're welcome. And today's topic is, as I said, how to actually unlearn staying and enjoying the comfort of defaulting into our comfort zone. And unlearning, the way I use it, is a very simple way of explaining that it's not about forgetting things that we have learned in the past. It's actually about choosing an alternative mental model to test something new and to maybe acquire some new skills and get into a new behavior that is serving us better compared to the past. So with that, let's kick it off. And this is important because as we are enjoying all the new technologies and the rapid advancements in many different areas, the demands on us in order to stay in demand as leaders, as professionals, increase. And we need to quickly unlearn things and adapt to the new reality. So that's why every week I have 15 minutes where I share some of my quite simple but still effective ways of actually dealing with some of these most apparent phenomenon that I meet in discussions with my clients. This is relevant either if you are looking for a new job, if you are looking to start your own business, or if you are looking just to make a better job where you already are. So, unlearning is something that we can address no matter which scenario we belong to. And I would love to start diving into cracking the code. This is something that I do on a weekly basis, find some simple concepts and share them, and also share some examples from my own life that might be inspirational to more people. So first of all, the comfort zone, we need to understand what that is and also any signs that we might be staying too long in our so-called comfort zone. The comfort zone is where you feel safe and where you feel that you are in control. And the signs that are appearing if you feel that you are defaulting to your comfort zone typically appears if you have or if you lack self-confidence, if you find excuses to not act or to not make decisions or to not change things that might be really significant to your life or to your career or to your business. It could also be that you pay a lot of time and attention to what other people think. And this self-talk is not serving you really well in order to leave your comfort zone. So those are the signs. And what you're looking for is to move into what we call a learning zone, and then after that, even a growth zone. And the learning zone is where we really feel that we make a decision, a firm decision that we are going to deal with a challenge. We're going to find a solution to a problem that we experience, that we are going to really take this on. And we might acquire some new skills or build some new skills, and we are practicing them and we're learning from that. And all of this, as we do that in the learning zone, that means that we're actually expanding the comfort zone. Meaning that over time, and this is basic again, you will feel that you are safer, that you are more in control. And as a quick example, running live streams is something that I was not doing for a long time. I started doing this a couple of months ago. And over time, when you acquire new skills and you get more experience, of course, you will feel more safe and in control, even though there's still a while to go in the live stream space for me. So a quick example to that, and let's look at what it takes then, not only to expand your comfort zone by getting into learning, but also actually to think about what does it take? What are the benefits? What are the motivational triggers that could help me move into the growth zone? That is the real juicy part of this. And the growth zone is more like understanding or identifying your purpose. And that's not something that most of us has a clear understanding of every day. But sometimes when things happen in our lives and our careers, we get more purposeful because it helps. It gives direction. We feel more motivated. So living that purpose is definitely something that we do and experience when we are in the growth zone. And also we stretch more for the dreams. It might not be realistic, it might not be possible, but again, we stretch for it. We are curious, we are taking some risk to expand and to utilize our potential more fully. Then, of course, it would be great if we also set new goals and we are really on that, quest almost to reach for those goals. And this is where we feel maybe the deepest, the most significant type of motivation. And also people around us will notice. And can you stay in that growth zone or even the learning zone all the time? Of course not. But as you understand some of these simple mechanics, it's easier to remind yourself that when those signals show up, the signals about, finding excuses or talking yourself into something based upon what other people think or are concerned about in your case, then you know that there might be something there for you to challenge yourself about, to get clarity about, and then to act upon. So this is the stretch, and the quest could be a big quest or it could be a small quest. If you have any comments or questions along the way, feel free to add them to the comments section, and I will stop and answer them as we go along. I mentioned that I would like to give you some examples as well. So let me just put on the next slide here. And there's some examples of actually visiting the learning and growth zone. What helped me was in two different areas. On a personal note, every time I make a firm decision to change my diet, for instance, I'm really visiting both the learning zone and the growth zone. And then I slide back into the default zone. And hopefully then my comfort zone has expanded in that space. And I can build on that and be on a specific diet quest if that's important to me. Professionally, I know that from the people I meet every week, these are big decisions. Maybe you are looking to make a decision about a new career. Maybe you are looking to do something quite differently. Maybe you want to build your own business. Or maybe you're looking at taking on a new role internally. Those decisions are really, really important. It might take some time to make sure that you build and really get the energy and the fuel you need in order to fully acquire the skills and to adapt and to learn and to expand your comfort zone for those things. On a personal note, when I decided to leave corporate 11 years ago, that was a big decision and there was a lot of self-doubt. I had a lot of excuses for 2 years, and people around me were certainly concerned about the possibility of that decision. And here I am 11 years later, and I'm still on my 2 feet, and it has been a journey. It has been a journey and a great experience in actually expanding my own comfort zone. So those were a couple of examples. And I can see that we have a comment here. I will just let Magdalena here share that she's advising her clients and students to go out of the knowledge zone. And one of the reasons is to expand the comfort zone. Yeah. And I agree with Magdalena that we can use the zone way of actually getting in and out and understanding this is not static. This is something that we expand, but we need to get reminded about what it takes to move from one zone to the other. Thanks for sharing that, Magdalena. I would love to move on here to my third point of actually cracking the code. And as normal, that's always about practicing. And then you're asking me, so how can you share something about that just in a few minutes? And of course, this is very high level, quite simplistic, but also really, really helpful. So what I see both from my own experience, but also from people I meet, is that there are 4 to 5 different points that are really helpful in getting good at or better at expanding your comfort zone and not defaulting back into that smaller version of it. And the first thing is, of course, determination. It's so easy to get distracted. So being determined, understand what's behind this, why this is important to me, and what will the implications be when I get this done. That is so important to make sure that you are really putting in the effort and that you are being resourceful about how to get there. The second one I would recommend you to look into is actually decluttering. Make sure that you're decluttering your space mentally and physically when you are moving throughout these zones. And pay attention to the environmental aspect as well. So maybe you're not doing this type of activities at the same desk, in the same room, even in the same building. Then you're doing other things. So, for instance, maybe some of this can be done by taking a walk or meeting at the library or being somewhere else, because the environment and the settings will also impact the way you can absorb and move forward in the zones. The third point is about fencing. And this is something I know that many people try to do. They're fencing time in the calendars. This is the hour of the week where I'm going to reflect. Or this is the 30-minute walk I'm going to do with my colleague, and we're going to discuss this new phenomena or share some learnings we've had. And it's very difficult to keep the fence time if you are on your own. So typically we tend to prioritize other types of meeting where other people are dependent upon us. And what I see is that it's really important that you make a firm decision, you stick to that timeline. And if it helps to involve somebody else, do it. But make sure that you keep that fence time, because it will be important for you to re-energize and to make sure that you do not compromise this. This is part of the journey. The fourth thing is about actually involving other people. Share what you're learning. Discuss how to adapt it. Make sure that you involve people around you or reach out for other people who could benefit from the similar topics and start discussing and learn from that. So the learning in itself is not just reading the book or taking the course or listening to a podcast. It's also applying and discussing how and when and why not, and getting those new ideas and perspectives from other people. And then finally, I touched upon it already, it really helps to have a partner in crime. So if you have somebody whom you could invite to be your accountability partner in this, that would be perfect. We tend to prioritize those things more when we have somebody else who is waiting for us or depending upon us or needing our help in order to make things work or to see progress. So determination, decluttering, fencing the time, sharing, involving, and then finally accountability partner, somebody who you could involve to make sure that you are able to really look into the more intriguing parts of both the learning zone but also the growth zone. I'm checking here for more comments and I don't see anything right now, so I will move on. And I already mentioned some of the examples from my own life and career. So typically what happens is that the more we spend time alone behind the desk, In a safe environment, the more we are likely to default into the comfort zone. We need to be challenged. We need to feel that potential for stretch. And that is done when we start engaging with other people and we make those firm decisions to move through the zones. I would love to leave you with a challenge. And this time, look around yourself. Maybe there is a role model somewhere. Maybe there's somebody in your network who's really good at this continuous self-development, whom you could model or be inspired by, or even maybe have as an accountability partner. Who knows? Who is that? Who is doing this really, really well? Make sure that you watch and learn and model that behavior, and so it fits with your preferences as well. And then my final question to you would be, what can you do right now to make a decision to maybe visit the learning and the growth zone more often and expand your comfort zone? I will leave you with those challenges. And the last thing I will do today is to mention the next topic coming up in a week from now, which will be one of the things that I see a lot of. I also have felt it myself. It occasionally shows up even now, but I've found some mechanisms to handle it. And the topic of unlearning next week is this: unlearning the comparison trap towards other professionals. So I hope you'll find that interesting, and I would like to welcome you back to take part of that as well. Until then, happy unlearning. Take care. Bye.